Hello and welcome to Handi-Link, sponsored by the Italian-Canadian Handi-Capable Association. I'm your host, Cam Wells. In this segment of our show, we'll hear from Trevor Gordon from Epilepsy, Halton, Peel, Hamilton. He'll be sharing details of how his organization helped a young boy living with the condition. So tell me a little bit about Jordan's story.
Well, it is a really interesting story, and it was sort of my first, earliest accomplishment so far with Epilepsy, Halton, Peel, Hamilton, with social media. I take advantage of Google alerts and hashtags and being aware of what's going on with the epilepsy world and epilepsy awareness. So I came across a couple of articles that were done on the Sosa family and the 5-year-old named Jordan. So it was, he has a rare condition of epilepsy, and the Sosa family was struggling to adopt Jordan and bring him over to Canada, and more specifically Mississauga. And, through the months and whatnot, they were able to do that. So I sort of came across the family, sort of at the second stage or the second article where the family was actually able to get to Mississauga. So right away I was contacting the reporter to see if there's a way that we could connect with the family and see if we were able to offer our services.
So what ultimately became of this effort?
Well, we had the opportunity of connecting with the family. The reporter was nice enough to connect with the Sosa family, and within a matter of weeks, the family came into our office in Mississauga and met with my colleague Jasmine, who runs our Sunny Days camp, and she was able to provide the family with hundreds of different ways that we were able to, help out the family, and the family for sure was much appreciative of that. And I know Jordan and his brother have been enjoying the Sunny Days camp so far.
Have there been any challenges in providing support to them?
Not so far. I mean, there was an initial hesitation on the family because there was a language barrier. But from our standpoint, we never saw that as being an issue, because ultimately, children all like to enjoy and have fun and, enjoy each other's company. And plus the fact that Jordan was able to have his brother there as well, a family member to play with. But he's been fitting in just fine, and there hasn't been any struggles so far, that's for sure.
Now, you alluded to a camp they're attending. Can you give me a little detail on that?
Yes, so it's a Sunny Days camp, is a camp that is run out of Port Credit. We also have a Sunny Days camp out of Hamilton, but basically it's a free camp. Basically, I mean, we do ask for maybe a minimum donation, but it's not expected. But ultimately, it's a camp that is to help out children and their families that have epilepsy. And so there's trained staff that are obviously comfortable and able to deal with first aid and dealing with seizures. And basically throughout the week, there's a day trip once a week, and there's different games and fun that the staff does and the children get to enjoy.
So with this latest success in terms of social media and reaching out to a family affected by epilepsy, do you think that'll play a further role as you seek to help more families?
I think so. I mean, just to give a little small background on myself, I mean, I came into this job. I'm still pretty new to the job or the role, but I do have a marketing and communications background. But I went into this job in March not knowing anything about epilepsy, to be fully honest. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just sort of copying and paste information. And, the staff and my supervisor, my executive director, Cynthia, got me trained through information of how to deal with a seizure and how to deal with, first aid and, CPR, and learning as much as I can. And it's still an ongoing thing that I'm doing, is learning about epilepsy. But so that being said, I'm constantly, online and looking of ways I can, spread the message in a way that gets heard. So my latest project has been creating memes and did you know that 1 in 100 Canadians have epilepsy? Did you know that it's impossible to swallow your tongue during a seizure? Did you know that, Prince had epilepsy? Did you know that Thomas Edison had epilepsy? Just sort of did you knows, and things that kind of really get people to stop and think. And it's something that then they tend to share on their social media, which not only spreads, our logo and our information, but more importantly, it spreads epilepsy awareness.
So what are the next steps in this effort?
Well, I mean, I would say to keep expanding on, our social media. Right now, I mean, we do have a Facebook account, a Twitter account, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. So right now we're trying to make sure that those stay steady and, have the information go out on a regular basis. But I think down the road we might get into Periscope and, creating video broadcasting and, things like that, or even maybe down the road having some of our meetings or events, broadcast on YouTube. So there's many roads we can go down, but we want to make sure that we're doing it all in the right time and, at the right pace and not rush to anything, and for sure not to lose the message of, which is the most important thing, is of epilepsy awareness and helping everyone out.
So if you could send any message to the community about the need for epilepsy awareness, what would you say?
I would say that those that have epilepsy are normal people. They are not. Epilepsy is not something that is contagious. It's something. I mean, and generally, that people that have seizures are aware of of what comes with it. So to not to panic. If you were to see someone that has a seizure, to panic and not put something in their mouth, to remain calm and to move any dangerous items away from them. Don't try to stop them or hold them back. If they do fall from the seizure, but make sure that they're on their side and sort of move things away from them versus moving them away from objects. And make sure it's timed so that if it's above 5 minutes, that's when you would call 911. Anything less than 5 minutes, it's not something you necessarily have to call 911 for. But again, the biggest thing I would say is just to remain calm and to, help them as best as you can.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time out to do this, but if you can stay on the line for a sec, that'd be great.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Of course. Language barriers, cultural barriers, coming from another place. Fact is, none of that should matter in providing support to a person with a disability. Trevor did exactly the right thing. He sought out to see if there were any stories out there of someone affected with epilepsy. And he asked the question, how can I help? How can I be a positive influence on this child and his family? What can our agency do to provide support? That's exactly what it's about, folks. Not the financial bottom line. What it comes down to is asking the question, what does it mean to really provide support for someone with a disability? Am I going to do it in the public eye? Just a token gesture? Or am I going to be that someone who goes out there, searches for people, and asks, can I help? Can I do something to make your life that much better? For a child especially, one who's learning about the world, they have the potential to learn many things. They can learn that the world is a cold, isolating place. Or they can come to see it's a place for diversity, a place that embraces all ability levels, all types of skills, and where people will find a way to make things better for their fellow human beings. And I would ask, if we had the chance to make the world better for a child, why wouldn't we? What in the world is it that makes us only concerned about these issues when they affect our own backyard? Trevor wasn't thinking along those lines. He was thinking, these matters can affect anyone. These really are the places we need to reach. We're doing some great work, that's true. But the fact is, it would mean so much more if we could reach so many more people. That's the joy of social media. Being able to reach out and ask, what's being done in other places? Can we learn from this? Can we grow stronger? Maybe even work together? And I consider this a great victory for the disabled community. When anyone says, I'm going to be a voice of support, that is a victory for us all.